What is up, everybody? Keith Jameson, Go Back Gator Guy 231 on Sorare, and it is awesome to be back. It's been, God, I look at the date, maybe like a month, but lots gone on personally, not only like in Sorare, right? But, me personally, for those that didn't know or see, had my second child. He is doing awesome. Then we had he had some complications. Wife had some health complications. Everybody, I'm so happy to report, is doing great. But Sorare content dropped down on the life totem pole, but I am so happy to be back doing it. I really did miss it. This is like thoroughly enjoyable, and I truly love. I get some messages and like people like I probably don't send like the best offer to on Sorare that are like, I like your content. Like, why do you give me a better offer? And bond over that. So anyhow, we're looking forward to this episode. So we're going to do stock up, stock down, but we're also going to do an update. If you notice on the title, we are rebranding, and I say we. I'm so happy. A longtime friend of mine, Alex Hooper, who used to be a beat writer in baseball for, at the time, the Cleveland Indians, now the Cleveland Guardians. But he is going to be joining me more often as MLB on Sorare comes. I'm going to give you guys some content around that. So really happy. So the rebrand now is Sorare First Pitch, which we thought was a little bit like a play on words. Soccer pitch, first pitch. All right. I get it. It's a little cheesy, but it should be fun. So make sure you watch for that coming. We're looking forward to that as we get more and more news of the Sorare baseball product, which I think is going to be awesome. Like, I think obviously I'm going to be doing mostly soccer because that is my thing. I think the really interesting part about baseball, just my overview, my few cents on it, is I think it's going to be great to get more and more people on the Sorare platform. But what I don't really expect to happen in this based off like my DFS background is people got brought into DFS, NFL, baseball, basketball. It didn't cross over to soccer, okay? Because it's just not an American thing. I don't think that all of a sudden, despite the MLS partnerships, unless they do something crazy to jazz this up, I don't think that Sorare baseball players are going to become Sorare soccer players. I think it's more likely that Sorare soccer players become Sorare baseball players. So I don't know how much it's going to improve the soccer product, but more users, more notoriety for Sorare, maybe gets more and more eyes on it, which is only going to be a good thing for all of us. Prize pools, the legitimacy of the site, all these long-term things as we keep growing our value. So that's my thoughts. Look for Alex to jump on with me, hopefully, as we get more and more news to do that. All right, that's enough of the jabber. Let's just get right into the MLS stock up, stock down. I'm actually at home doing this, so I can do a little bit of screen share here. Let's start with my first guy, Nico Lodeiro. Definitely has been a huge stock up at the end of the Champions League. Let's just look at this, right? Versus San Jose, this is the last three. San Jose, 89. Versus Pumas in the first leg, 86, and then 96. Nico has helped out not only by now, taking almost all the set pieces, especially João Paulo out. Albert Rusnak does jump on a few, but Nico takes a majority of set pieces, plays the 10, gets PKs, and just happens to be on no matter what power rankings you look at. I'm just here to tell you the best team in the MLS, when it all comes to said done, I think it's going to be the Seattle Sounders. I was fortunate enough to get Nico on a little bit of a price decrease around like the 0.3 range. We can see he's hovering up in the 0.5, but here's what I'll just say, especially with like ETH down. Yeah, I'm not going to go on the ETH tangents. Like Coiny put stuff out. I've seen like a number of Sorare content people talk about like the whole ETH down, like what that means. Like my whole thing is you operate in ETH on the site. That is the currency. It's all great if you're going to put dollars in and become ETH, but once you operate in ETH, just do that. And, it's a lot less volatile than it is looking at your dollar figures of your gallery. But even at half an ETH, like if we get this Nico back, right? Like last year was a disaster, but we get this Nico back, he's top 5 guy in the MLS. He's probably up there in terms of Carlos Gil as in terms of cheat card players, especially now too with the Sounders desperately needing wins now the Champions League is over. Yeah, I'm all in on Nico. I think he's an outstanding play. Even at this half an ETH, I don't think is crazy. So Nico Lodeiro, first stock up. Roman Celentano, watch Cincinnati the last few, huge stock up now. I'm not going to pay 1 ETH, but look, U23 goalkeepers is just a complete cluster. You know what? We just had Hazel go down. European season's ending in Asia. Both Tani, Osaka. I think it's just those two have actually been in and out of the lineup. They both look solidly in now, but David Ochoa is gone. And then the only guy that's really like in is Gaga Slovenia, who's super expensive. So Roman Celentano only has 2 copies, but he's been really good for Cincinnati. You see 2 straight clean sheets. Even in this game versus Los Angeles, he was outstanding. Like LA could have had like 2-3 goals in the first half. Alex Khan was like very, very up and down when he was in. So I think there's a really good shot that unless Salentano just absolutely falls apart, he was number 2 pick in the draft. Unless he just falls apart, like I think it's his job to lose at this point. So, to go on the other end, stock down Alex Khan or whatever his name is, I wouldn't want to touch his card. But Roman Celentano, especially if you get a good deal, maybe on his limited, 185 is crazy. But if you could get in that like 0.1 range, doesn't seem like it's viable anymore. That could be a really good pickup. So Roman Celentano, definitely stock up. Lucha Costa, just look at these amazing numbers, super consistent. If I had a gripe on Lucha Costa, it's probably just pure ceiling. Like you would think for somebody that's leading the MLS, and I think so, I didn't double check, but I think he's still leading the MLS in shots assisted, now starting to bang in a few goals, right? That we would see some hundreds. We can see like over the past seasons, you're capped in the 70s range, but I think that's factored into the price. Now, for a week and a half ago, he was 0.25. Sold him. Whoops. Thought the fixture list coming up wasn't so good. So not a good play on me, but great upside. Does give you a solid floor in here too. He's just been on fire. Cincinnati is right now as a playoff team. He was doing a lot of this without Brandon Vasquez, who's now back. They could ever get I think it's long gone to say that they're ever going to get like a good Brenner, but even if Baji could be good, Barrial starting to play a little bit, like they can just get a little help around Vasquez and Acosta, like you might have something. I don't love the next few games, like away to Chicago, like it's okay. Home to New England, gosh, 3 weeks ago, I thought it was a terrible matchup. Now it's looking pretty good. Away to Montreal, away to Philadelphia. This is a tough little stretch here. But, Acosta's just been showing some great AA numbers. Like I would have said away to Minnesota is a tough matchup, and he bangs out 37.4 AA. So Lucha Acosta definitely stock up. Taxi Fountas, holy crap. If you haven't watched DC game, Taxi is like awesome. He almost like, I don't even want to say this. Like this seems like treasonous, for lack of a better term, but kind of reminds you of like Giovinco, like smaller guy, just darting all over the place, making moves, like tons of movement on the ball, not scared to shoot anything. Taxi is pretty crazy. You can see in his last 3 starts, we have a 93 and a 91 in there. I don't think DC is that good. But this weekend, that's a great matchup away to Atlanta. At least you get New York at home. That's not great, but I'll call it neutral. Home for Toronto is very good. Away to Red Bull is bad. Away to Chicago, meh. I don't know. I think Chicago's defense under Ezra is pretty good, but Taxi is just he could be one of the top forwards in the MLS. But like, I would not surprise me in a month if we're just like Taxi Fountas is up there with like Vea. I don't even know if I want to put Russell up there. God, forward's so lame in the MLS right now. Like so many guys are so goal dependent outside of Vela. I'm sure there's somebody else I'm not thinking of. We don't have Jesus Ferreira banging up the stuff. It's like Castellanos, but even him, you're decisive dependent. Books, Gustavo Boo, if he ever comes back, he gets decent AA. But like Taxi Fountas could very much be in that ilk, price wise. In that 0.4 range isn't crazy. So love Taxi Fountas, big stock up. Georgi Mihailovic, price is officially way up there. You're almost talking to getting your 0.75 ETH or thereabouts, but he's earned it. He's definitely one of the front runners for MVP. Ever since Montreal got knocked out of the Champions League, they have been awesome. Mihailovic has been a big reason for that. We see in his production, like this isn't like his stock's way up. I would not like be buying at this because I think it's a little bit crazy. But away to Charlotte, not an easy match. But away to Nashville, those are two really tough matchups. Soft matchup here, soft matchup here. So if you really like are desperately wanting Mihailovic, like maybe this is a situation that you hope he kind of bombs here, and then you get him for this run, right? I think even Austin at home is a good spot, but we want a home team. Montreal has a nice home field advantage. Big Georgi Mihailovic fan. And finally, man, guy that's been sitting in my gallery and caused me pain for so long, and he's finally producing. Thiago Martins, one of the only DPs in the MLS as a center back. So like, I kind of want to like just look at this production last year at Yokohama, right? And then he gets transferred to NYC, good team, right? They won the stinking MLS Cup. You go, okay, he should be able to acclimate. And what do we get when he gets over here? It's just some terrible scores. He got a clearance off the line against Seattle in the Champions League. And from then on, it's kind of kicked on. So we had 19.10 AA versus Real Salt Lake, 43.4 AA, including the sheet, then 30.5, including the sheet. We've seen his price jump all the way up. Like you can like look at people, we're getting him 0.1, an auction, the number one, 1.65 or 0.165. And now we're in this getting up into the 0.3 range. If you actually sort on Sorare data for Martins, it actually shows up as one of the top AA guys if you go to L40. So good team, good player, good pedigree. I think he is definitely somebody to search. For stock down, let me just go ahead and see what I got. So Thomas Hazel, if you didn't see, 6 weeks he's out. So that is no bueno, but maybe that's a good buy low for, I was talking about how U23 is very, very barren. That could be a good buy low. I talked about Alex Kahn, maybe struggling to get his job back. David Ochoa, another guy that, now they're saying it's there's some stuff going on, plus, an injury. So none of that's good. Those are three that I highlighted. I'm sure there's some more that I'm not thinking of, but then from just a team, I just want to highlight Sporting Kansas City. If they didn't do anything on the deadline, they need like a surge of life. Their back line, they've made complete changes. It's Courtney Ford and the young kid. I'm not sure if Ismat will come back in, but Fontes has been dropped. Their midfield's a mess. Gotti kinda out for the year. I've been saying for the longest time, like Johnny Russell will kick on when Gotti kinda gets back, because that's that creativity you need in the midfield, and it's gone. Daniel Shalawai, went from being like a MVP contender to like just a guy. Like I've watched a few games, and it's just like, where's the dude from last year? Alan Polito, they're not expected back. Kyrie Shelton just looks terrible as a striker. So Sporting Kansas City to me is just a huge stock down, which is a team that, for the longest time you go, if Peter Vermes is there, they're going to figure it out, but it's not looking good. All right. Just a couple other little things. I don't have like the don't panic meter this time. I just wanted to kind of do buy lows. All right. Maybe that's in my news. I can't stay consistent on stuff. Just if you know me outside of like content, ever talk to me, like attention span just doesn't exist. So buy lows. I buy low on the Sounders. I don't know if you can buy low anymore. I got my Stephen Fry a few days ago at an outstanding deal, so I can roll up almost a full Seattle stack. But buy low on the Sounders. Buy low on Jordan Morris, Christian Rodin, Raul Ruiz-Diaz, Albert Rusnak, Ymar, probably not Tolo. I love Tolo, but it's fullback like exclusively at this point. Buy low on Arriaga. Buy low on, I think Stephen Fry. I got it for like 0.315 or some crazy number. But like I'm assuming it's because Stephen Cleveland comes in every once in a while. But I told you, like, this is the time. Seattle's now done the Champions League. They're done with the crazy rotations and like playing their youth team in an MLS game. Like now is the time. That's done. Now they're going to go win the cup, or they're going to try to win the cup, right? Like they don't even care about the U.S. Open Cup. They're going to win the supporters and the MLS Cup. So I think Seattle, and they have a really good fixture list coming up. So really like Seattle. That's a great buy low spot. I think another one, I was brought to attention by somebody I chat with that LA's schedule coming up is in really works favorably. I think a guy to buy low on for LA, and let me get my screen back up. I haven't looked at the price, but I think it's pretty low, is Chicharito, who is not like my type of player at all. Okay, we can't put Chicharito in. We got to put Javier Hernandez. Okay. Come on, Laird and team. Let me use nicknames. But okay, it's not as low as I thought. But if you look at the 6 months, you're still getting a dip off of the top. The lowest prices since January, February range down here. But Chicharito has been bad lately. You're never gonna get AA with Chicharito. Like, just understand, like, if you buy Chicharito, it's for the decisive or bust. But Forster without the decisive, I think he could very easily go on a big run here. So I like a buy low on him, especially if you can maybe get somebody in a panic. And then just a final thing, buy low on old cards. The price disparity between the new prints and the old prints is just getting stupid. Like, yes, the new card's cool, but cool doesn't win you tournaments. So if you got like an old card at 4% or 4.5%, and the new card is, let's say it's a 0.3 card and the new card's 0.35, but you get half of percentage difference, like, buy the old one. Like, even for 2% difference, save the half of 0.05. Like, that is real money that you can spend on the platform for better players and betterment of your team. I was listening to Laird and Black, what was it? It's Thursday now, so like 2 nights ago. And I thought Andy Black made a good point. He's just like, and Laird said it. They're just like, buy better players. Like, stop worrying about like 2% difference. Like, 2% if they only score 40 is not making any difference. You're already screwed. You're not winning. Okay. So, stop getting so caught up in the 2% and just use that money and buy better players. So buy low on old cards. I think that you'll be better off for it. Let's see if there's anything else I had written down that I want to cover. Looking ahead, just as like a reminder, if you're buying people at the deadline, I know this is out late, it's 6:30, so I'm finishing this, but if you're buying guys at the deadline, look for guys that are going to play midweek. A number of MLS teams are going, so this would be a great time if you're buying a guy for this weekend to make sure he has midweek utility too, so you can get that extra usage of that card. All right, that'll do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorare, well, hold on, I'm trying to remember, make sure I said it right. First pitch. I'm really looking forward to the next little chapter of these things. We'll go from there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any sort of questions or want to reach out, at GatorGuy231 on Discord and Twitter, I'm happy to answer any questions I can help with at that point. Thank you all so much for watching. With that, I'll say, see you.